My name is Mike Jones. I'm a neuromuscular massage therapist in Canton, Ohio. I've been working 27 years. And I treat a variety of cases, but I specialize mostly in difficult cases. And so I'm always looking for something new to make the job easier and to be more complete. Um, Also, myself, years ago, I had a bad injury and was given a 35 to 50% disability. I was misdiagnosed. It was coming from soft tissue. So the whole thing we're trying to do is to normalize the frequency and to have the tissues fire normally. So I always try new supplements, uh, tools, modalities, whatever myself first before I recommend it to anyone. So of course I tried it myself and I was really skeptical. It took me about 9 months to decide to use the laser because it just seemed like so much like many other things I had tried.
You're talking about the LifeShield Laser?
Yes.
No.
And so I used it. I'm 8% body fat, but I always still had a little bit of abdominal fat that I couldn't get rid of. And so I used it on my stomach area for maybe 30 seconds. I did it once or twice. And then in 4 days, I noticed a difference. My pants were more loose. And then after about 3 more tries, I tried on pants the other day. And I'm definitely going to have to go out and buy some new pants. I tried 3 pair before I get one that would not be too baggy and I had to pull my belt tight and so forth. One of the things we do as athletes, we should do, is take a heart rate in the morning. What that means is how much stress your body has recovered from, and very few people do that, but anyone, I have all the people I work with do that, and so you can say, wow, I had this kind of stress and only went up a couple beats. You see that the body is becoming more balanced and the endocrine system more stabilized. When I was 15 years old, I started doing that, and my heart rate was 44 on a good day. I got down to 43 on a good day with my research, and using the laser in 2 weeks, it went down to 39. But what's really good about that is that under stress before, my heart rate would go on a bad day up to maybe 12, 13 beats. Now it goes up about 5. So again, what that means is the endocrine system becoming much more stable. The whole thing is parasympathetics, the relaxed phase, the healing phase is kicking in, not the sympathetic, whichever one's in. Most people are all fight or flight and have too much on their plate. One of the things I do too is I measure different activities and just daily activities like you got to do the dishes, you got to go to the store or pay those bills, and you're fatigued, you put it off the next day. Now I don't even think about that stuff. I just go ahead and do it, and it's not even a consequence. I always measure things to see improvements, and just like my yard work, I mow my yard. It takes me 35 minutes was the fastest I could ever do it. I finished a 32-mile hard bike ride, got off, mowed my yard. It took me 25. So that's a 10-minute difference.
Wow.
And that still has maintained. And that's so you think, why? You just become more efficient. It's not a sympathetic thing. It's not a fake thing. It's just that the body becomes more relaxed and more efficient. Things like fine motor control, I see those in my practice improving with the laser. I noticed, people as they get older, they have injuries or they slowly decline and their handwriting gets more sloppy. Well, I started noticing my handwriting was what I remember was normal, and then I looked at my hands and they had creases in them. So then I measured my hands and my hands had grown. Now they're longer and wider. So one of the things about that is we don't hear about it, but a consequence of aging is we shorten, we get less, we lose height, but we also, our hands shorten. Well, I have a bike that I've had since 1992. It was a racing bike, now it's a training bike, and I adapted it, and my gears are up on the top and on my down on my drops. They're called drops for your elbows. And I could never really use my thumb to change the gears, which I should have. I used my finger, which was not real complete. You lose your balance a little bit. So all of a sudden I noticed I was using my thumb on my gears. It's like my thumb was longer and had more power. And so it was like a piece of cake. So those kind of ways, when you have ways to measure, it gets really exciting to see these changes. The dynamometer, it's a hand grip strength. We can measure a hand grip. My measurement has been about 100 lately. It's 20% increase. It's gone to 120. That's
Wow.
after the laser. You see, I have a cat. I call a cat dog. He's a Maine Coon. He's 20 pounds. Last time he was 16 pounds. He's grown a lot. He would try to get away from me and go to the woods, and I could never catch him when he took off. If I just wasn't watching him, I couldn't run him down. So then recently, he's now faster, bigger, longer. He's 20 pounds. He bolted for the woods. I was my bare feet. I just took off sprinting after him. The ground is uneven. I always had a problem with that. Had no problem, didn't recognize it. It just seemed just like regular level ground, and I ran him down. And this guy, and he's faster and bigger than he ever was. Like,
Wow.
so when you think, wow, okay, what's going on? Well, you're actually getting more motor control.
Yeah,
So that's
do
what was
you use
exciting.
do you laser his food and water?
No, I have not done that yet.
Okay.
So other things that I look at is, excuse me here. We see, I've seen a definition increase. They used to laugh at me in sports medicine. I used to run on the treadmill as one of their examples for their equipment. And even before the accident that I had, my right calf was so much smaller than my left. And so it's improved over the years with the things I've done. But all of a sudden, one application, and I saw already within 4 or 5 days, it started catching up. Those are kinds of things I see. You said different frequency, just turned it on, allowed it to happen. We see we see hearing loss improve. I could explain how that works, but that's one of the things that I've seen lately. So we talk about weight loss as such a big factor in society. I've got a lady that has lost 20 pounds over the last year, very gradually, but I used the laser. She was not, again, like I was, she heard about my story and she was concerned about her abdomen area. And so I lasered it, it was once or twice. She went to work and she lost size and gained definition. And then her supervisor pulled her into the office because he was concerned about her abnormal weight loss, you know. So that was just like the tipping point. All it did was allow to really see the change that were happening because it was so obvious. And then, you know, then you gain attention. But obviously she was excited by that. One of the things that I wanted was, can the laser normalize structure? That is your alignment. There's your high shoulder. If you have scoliosis caused by soft tissues pulling it, if you have cranial bones that are not aligned and moving and breathing, you know, if you have abnormal pelvic measurements, well, yes, it can. I found that it can. So that was an added arsenal for my practice. You can measure breathing by a spirometer for lung capacity, by holding your breath, by measuring your rib expansion. And I've done that with people and seen changes. Now, these were people that were improving, that were somewhere plateaued or they weren't going fast enough. And that's when I said, well, what's different? So when I had the laser, that's how you can compare and see. I noticed that I have a background at French minor from college a long time ago, and I try to keep a little bit of that. So I do high reps on a lot of my weights. So even today I did the workout, and so I do 200 reps on this torso tiger, go out and back, and it's pretty rapid. And I count to 100 up, but I can never count back. I could do it when I'm not working out, but I couldn't with exertion. I easily do it now, counting backwards in French.
How long did it take you to do that, to reach that point, Mike?
I just decided one day to try it.
Okay.
You know, I wasn't, because I was trying different things. So there's cognitive improvements that we see people report. I have a receding gum that's improved 50% with the laser. My dentist has said he's never seen one repair. I'm excited. About 3 months I go back for my checkup and I'm showing that it has repaired. Keloid scar, I've had one since 8th grade. It's been reduced with the things I've done, plateaued, had the laser, now it's been reducing again. We've seen gray hair is also reduced back to normal color. That was kind of exciting. I want to give you a couple examples of people that I've been working with that are very serious cases. A guy with sarcoidosis, where the lung scar, his came from inflammation. The guy came in totally red. He had 7 years of neuromuscular massage therapy, no real effect. Came to see me, had been improving gradually, and all of a sudden we used the laser, he immediately noticed immediate changes. He was like me. He had an atrophied left gastrocnemius soleus, the lower leg, and in one application, 3 days, he came back. We both agreed 25 to 30% increase in definition size in that leg.
Wow.
He's also, we measured his dynamometer. Now, you can't attribute everything to the laser, but this is what really made a big change. We see the big change. All of a sudden, we went to a different level. He went from his right side improved 6 points, which is significant, not a big deal. But his left side was very atrophied. It went from 76 to 104. Now 104 is normal for a 44-year-old. He's 62 years old.
Wow.
Spirometer, measuring lung capacity. He was 2,300. It went to 2,800, which is low level, still within normal range for his age group first time. He knows things like when he has exertion working out, he's not noticing limitations now. And we expect when he goes back for his checkup in 3 months that we're going to show full resolution of sarcoidosis. He I don't know how far the laser penetrates, but we're using it on his chest for the scar tissue and doing a couple other things that we know can reduce that. But I saw on his left ribs, immediately when I first used the laser, we used it on a scar, and it was moderately severe scar. 3-4 times, it's down to faint. You have to be in the right light to see it. So that was exciting. Another guy with spastic paraparesis. He came in years ago. He ran 5 miles a day. Gradually declined to where he's walking with crutches. Came to see me. Been improving gradually. Added the laser, and I tested him around the office walking. He got to where he could walk with like wall walk and walk some steps without holding on to something, but he had to touch the wall or the counter 18 times over and back before the laser. I used the laser. He did it 4. And now that's taken to a whole lot higher level. Now he keeps on improving. And what I like about this is like they take it's a whole other step, a whole other direction. Definition throughout the body. He also had atrophied areas of the body, and we saw that speed up. Again, it was 1 week for him. He used the laser 1 time on his calves and outer leg and lower legs, they improved. These people notice it. That's what I like about it. They come in, they tell me, and then I verify it. One of the things that most of us remember the equation by Albert Einstein, E equals mc squared. He proved that everything basically boils down to energy. So when you normalize that frequency, that we're all electrical bodies, and that energy normalizes, amazing things can happen. And that's the whole concept. That's the whole concept, and that's what I've seen in my practice. So if you have any questions, feel free to contact me. My email is justjonesy@gmail.com. That is J as in John, H as in Harry, I as in it, S as in Sam, T as in Tom, Jonesy like my name, JONESY @gmail.com. Thank you.
Thank you, Mike.
At 12.